Hello. In this episode, we're going to go through the setup to send AWS VPC flow logs to New Relic using a Kinesis Firehose. In the past, VPC flow logs required you to write all of the logs to an S3 bucket or to CloudWatch. But AWS recently added the ability to send the logs directly to Kinesis as a lower cost method of getting that data out to analytical tools like New Relic. To start off, there are a few things that you need to have set up ahead of time on the AWS side. First of all, you need to have enough AWS permissions to set up things like S3 buckets, modifying the VPC flow log settings, creating IAM roles, and creating Lambda functions. If you aren't the person with those kind of permissions, you're going to need to grab your AWS admin and have them go through this process with you. So assuming you have those kinds of permissions, the next thing you need to get ready is to have an S3 bucket picked out and to have an IAM role that has access to write to that bucket. The bucket is needed because Kinesis requires you to have a place to store data in the event of a delivery failure. As long as everything is working correctly, the bucket stays empty, but it's good to have that backup plan just in case. Additionally, you need to have the ARN of the IAM role that Kinesis can use to send data into the bucket when it needs to. I already have those ready for my environment, but if you need any help with getting those set up, you can check out the links posted with this video to see the documentation. So we're going to start by going to our New Relic console and go to the Add Data button in the top right corner. Search for VPC Flow and then find the tile under Network and click it. Select your account, click to continue, confirm that we're setting up VPC flows and click continue again. At the time of this recording, the feature is still in beta at AWS, so we can't use CloudFormation to set it all up yet, but that option will become available shortly after the capability goes GA on AWS. For now, we can just go with the CLI-based setup and click Continue. You'll need to pick the AWS region where you want the Kinesis Firehose to be located. Click Continue. Then provide the ARN of the backup bucket and the IAM role. I'll copy mine in here. You'll see here we have a checkbox asking about sampling. VPC flow logs can be very chatty, so you can set up a Lambda that samples the flows and gives you a cost management option if you want to use it. I'm going to tick the box so I can show you how that works. So then we'll click Continue. You populate the name that you want the Lambda to have. Set the sampling ratio you want to use. Last, you need to provide the ARN of the role with permissions to create the stream of events that will feed the Lambda. Once again, the details of setting up that role are going to be in the linked docs. So I'll paste in my ARN, click Continue. On this next screen, you'll click the Generate CLI command. This will return two sets of commands. You'll need to copy them over to the AWS CLI. The first one creates the Lambda, and the second one just checks to let you know when that first job is done. It takes a few minutes for AWS to create the Lambda, so for the sake of demo, I already created these resources ahead of time. You'll just wait a few minutes and then run the second command until it comes back showing as active and gives you the ARN that you'll copy into the box. Click Continue. Click the Generate CLI command again. Just like before, this gives us two commands. The first one is to set up a Kinesis Firehose. Then we wait a couple minutes and try the second command to make sure the Firehose is showing as active. Once it's active, you can copy the ARN from there, put it into the box, and click Continue. So now we're in the home stretch. We need to enable flow logs for our VPC and send them to the Kinesis Firehose we just created. You can set flow logs to record all attempted traffic or narrow it down to just accepted or rejected traffic. I'm going to go with all. AWS allows you to collect flows from a few different kinds of network services. You can collect all the flows for everything in a VPC, or you can be more selective and only capture from specific EC2 network interfaces. So in the box, we can paste in the ID of any VPC or EC2 that we want to capture flows from. Click Continue. On the next screen, click Generate CLI commands. For each item we entered into those boxes on the previous screen, we will get another AWS CLI command to create the flow rule. After you run each of those commands, you should be good to go. Click Continue, Continue again, and it will take you to the Network Monitoring Summary page, where you should see the tab for Cloud Flow Logs. Clicking that takes you to the flow analysis view. If you check the description of this video, you'll find a link to a previous episode where I described how to use the flow analysis view. It's essentially the same for on-prem and cloud flows.